your position has been. I am not trying to change your position on things, though, because their propaganda on you runs deep. Today, there are so many of you that are having conflicting mind. If you are to no longer believe everything they told you about IPOB, or maybe not some of them, you are now kind of twisted inside. I know they spend so much that they paid lobbyists over $1 million in America to lobby the American Congress, American government to help them proscribe IPOB as a terrorist organization, so that would then give them the green light to kill and kill and kill as many Igbos as possible. And that would be under the fact that America would know, America would have sanctioned it. But that was when I saw the statement of accounts of the IPOB worldwide. Nnamdi Kanu could have been a multi-billionaire. I swear. People who became his disciples and Biafran, campaigner and adherent today, they never used to like him. But Nigeria helped him to prove him right to them. Over 180 countries with the presence of the IPOB. And IPOB cannot be a terrorist organization that the government across the world will allow them to exist, meet, and even participate in the activities of their, resident countries if they are terrorist organization. That's when I saw their statement of account. IPOB was countering Nigeria in the area of trying to water down whatever lies that Buhari's government cooked, gave to lobbyists in America to blacklist IPOB, so as for the Nigerian government to now kill them, and with so much impunity and reckless abandon. I saw where IPOB paid lobbyists in America over $1.5 million or more move back. No joke. And that is why when some people say, I'm not in their shoes and I may never understand them a lot, but somehow, because I have been following the activities of the IPOB for at least 10 straight years. So I am an expert when it comes to their journey so far and wherever, at what point they are today. Do you understand? This guy is sitting on a global movement, an empire that a lot of people who have sat, analyzed Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, and all of their spread all over the world, their coordination and everything, a lot of people who have studied them, and they kind of could imagine the type of power and influence that Nnamdi Kanu commands. They were scared that they hope he will never realize the kind of influence he commands. And if he can be better, either be bought or tamed. Early now, the better for Nigeria. If this guy should indeed put to use the influence he actually commands on Nigeria, Baba, no joke. Everybody go see him, everybody go feel him. I'm not kidding. But somehow, he wasn't a violent person. He wasn't. He was a calculative person. He knew the journey he was, the path he was taking the people was a path that when the time arrives, they will be so good enough, knowledgeable enough, intelligent enough to lead themselves out of Nigeria, with or without him. While others were thinking he was probably going to just give an order that all the Igbo governors should be terminated. All the political leaders should be, because he had that much influence. And it wasn't just online. You remember this our favorite song? This was one of their meetings in Igbo land, where Nnamdi Kanu, even after the military killings and attacks and kidnappings and all of that in Igbo land, they were still resolute.
Win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Nnamdi bu onye du aibo, o meriwo n'izu mbiro ya. Abakare Mamanda Ora, Unaburi Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaburi Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaburi Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unaburi Mary Nnamdi.
That's much of his influence. It wasn't just online. So when some people tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is like a savior, somebody who happened to be like an umbrella that is sort of shielding a lot of Igbos in and outside Nigeria from the true intention of the ruiners of Nigeria towards you. So a lot of people believe that for his time, that he came during the right time to alert the Igbos, to be aware of what is going on around them, not just to be conscious of it, to also be prepared and be ready to stand up and stand firm when those things could no longer be hidden anymore, that they will come face to face and face you. You would have to drop all pretenses. You would have to drop all cowardices, right? You would have to stand up and say, yes, I am Igbo and I'm proud. He made them be like that. Be like that. And he was never kind of interested in anything flamboyant, anything personal. I mean, he could have been a billionaire if it was for people of today and all that. They could have made a lot of money. People were ready to give him their money. The same money he asked for about 10 years ago in America, they were giving them now that they can see. So they wanted him dead. And today is locked up. And on the 15th of December, the Supreme Court said the withdrawal of his bail application was wrong. So which means he shouldn't be in any detention, should be free and walking free right now. Even if they still have any case against him, that they should go and try that. However, they've not obeyed it because the same Supreme Court hasn't even forwarded the case back to the appeal court or whatever. It is the system. Now, we can tell that Tifnubu has inherited Buhari's supposed an imaginary enemy. Okay? And this might be a clarion call on all of us to remind us that, see, Buhari's terrorist regime could have failed in killing Nnamdi Kanu or changing their mind that they just, I don't want you to feel relaxed for any reason that Tifnubu's government may not want to kill him. Sure, you understand now? So if their system continue to hold him, and there are many ways you can kill a man, denying him his health check, access to his own medical doctors or medical personnel, denying him his praying time, torturing him, and so many other things like that they could do to worsen his health and all of that. So if anything happened to Nnamdi Kanu now, it won't be Buhari. No. It's going to be Tifnumbu. And I hope a lot of us are going to be really prepared for the backlash of that. Now, that will take me to Abuja again. Okay? But this.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo. Not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you.
Nigeria is not for anybody. Even though that clown, Asari Dokupig, right? Himself, a traitor, a betrayer. And it's unfortunate. And that's what Nigeria kind of represents in anyway. So, yeah. But let's go to Abuja. Baba, you see that story of the girls kidnapped in Abuja? The Nahibas, the Najibas, and all of that, right? They killed Nahiba, but they freed Najiba and the other girls. And they are back home. Their father, who spoke with the Arise News, by the way, yesterday, shared this experience. And according to him, they are kidnappers. They are Fulani terrorists who speaks Hausa and Yoruba, at least to him, while they were kidnapping them. He relayed the scenario, and I'm glad that you are here today. This is also the legacy of Buhari of 8 years in Nigeria. The one that Femi Adesina is doing his best to whitewash. Is not going to happen. Now, listen to this. So, this victim is a Yoruba after all. This family, they are Yoruba after all. So, they said the consequences of bad leadership is like a stray bullet. It doesn't discriminate, and it can hit just everyone, anytime, any day. And in this case, when Nigeria is happening to people, it also doesn't discriminate. Everyone knows what Nigeria has taken from them. But for this family, they took the life of a girl, innocent girl, a supposed civil servant who worked in Abuja. And from what we heard, he just moved to this new property. And then the terrorists came. He thought they were armed robbers. He lost his daughter. He lost his brother. And at the end of the day, he paid ransom. Baba, mo go listen to the Nahiba's father. And I probably, if you haven't seen this video, I am going to warn you ahead to kind of, it might be a little bit emotionally kind of, engaging, right? So please be prepared. This is the father of the 4 girls that were later released after the payment of 100 million Naira ransom. The story.
7 o'clock from town, and moving straight to observe my evening prayer, that is the Maghrib prayer. And thereafter, I think I sat down at the sitting room there just for me to relax. Then thereafter, I observed my Isha prayer. After observing the Isha prayer, I was not feeling too okay for me to take my dinner, so I was feeling very weak that day. I now asked my daughter to prepare a small pap for me. So thereafter, I took the pap. I couldn't even take it, so I went in straight to the bedroom. I was just relaxing, pressing my phone. I was telling my wife, I'm not strong, I don't know what is happening. Then my mood is not okay. So after some time, I doze off. So the next thing I heard around, the noise was just coming. I said, who is banging the gates? And I asked them, because my children were in their various rooms. I was like, who is banging the gates? Who is knocking? This one is not knocking, they are banging it. They say, they don't know. I stood up. And I came out. It's an uncompleted building anyway. I just fixed about 3 rooms there just for us to move in. We're moving not up to 2 months now. And so I came out. I went straight to the sitting room, the main sitting room of which we're still working on, to check. I peeped from the window and I sight one man standing by the main gate. It was from there I noticed this armed robbers then. So I haven't sight then. I've already made up my mind as well. If they have come, there's no problem. And I notified my wife, it's like they're armed robbers, so it's like they have come. So I went straight into my bedroom. My children too have already locked up their rooms, in their various rooms. I went in straight to my room, switched off the lights. My wife rushed to the bedroom, we switched off the lights. I picked my phone, trying to see who I call, neighbors around. My memory was like, I was confused. But along the line, when I reorganized myself, I was able to pick myself up and say, let me call my brother. And I called my brother. And I said, Abdul Fattah, where are you? I said, there's problem. We are being attacked now. I'm robbers, thief, like that. Within 15 minutes, I called back. He said, bros, I'm close to you. I said, okay. So I was a bit relaxed. The guys have already sighted them by the window. They've pulled the window, they've break the glass. I knew they were in full force. There's nothing I could do that for me to like surrender myself to them. And I asked, I said, Kai, what is it that you need? Whatever you need, come in. I came out, opened the door. One got me and asked me, Nnamdi. I look at him, I don't have money. But if you see anything here that is good for you, pack it at the Pideshi. He looked at me. He searched everywhere. I noticed they were looking for money, checking some things like that, of which they picked the things that they thought probably they could go with. I was just looking at him. Coincidentally, I think there was one rope that I used inside the compound for at the back there. He picked the rope from my room. The next thing I saw him coming out was to tag me with that rope. I knew, well, I'm the suspect. I gave up. I said, okay, let's go. He now marched me out from my room to the balcony in my room, and then my children too. They've already break the door. They've used this long jigger in my compound. They pick the jigger from my compound. They break the door. They've get their entrance to my children's room, march them out like that. I saw my children, myself. I said, okay, let's go. Their intention was to lead us out of that community to the main road that goes to Veritas. So I was having the confidence that at least between that time, is that the police will come or the other security people will come that will make them to leave us and run away. When I noticed my brother was driving in, I was happy. He was the one that actually lead the police to my community. So when I sighted this guy, I said, Kai, this guy, as at that time, they had already positioned themselves again. When they said that they were coming, they didn't know who was coming, but they saw the police light on. So they knew quite all right, these guys have come for them. So on seeing that, I said, Kai, there's nothing I could do. And I tell my children, I say, relax yourself. You know, I said, all of us should lie down. And I tell my children, I say, just go down. Myself too, I hide myself on the floor. Just from then, 3 of them up went to, there's a building not far from the main road. It's fenced. There's a gate there. They went to that building, but 3 of them were trying to gain entrance to that building. I was seeing them using harrow and all sorts of things to break the security lights so that people will not see them from a distance. So they break all the bulbs outside, the security lights outside, trying to climb the gates inside. So it was then they start to exchange bullets. And I saw my brother that he wanted to drive further. So he didn't know that they were close to that house. So the next thing he did was for him to reverse back, which the reverse that he did, I believe they must have shot him. So the police vehicle too got stopped. So his reverse could not go back. So they were all exchanging with themselves. So after a few minutes, both of them stopped. I think the police stopped. They can't advance further. And I said, Kai, they must have injured my brother or injured the police. For the police vehicle not to advance further, meaning that they cannot stand this guy. 7 o'clock.
That's just first part. I mean, the first part of the story. Or you were following, Abby? I know a lot of you were glued there. He couldn't call. There is no emergency police number. There is no emergency estate security number. They were new in the place, and they thought they were being attacked by armed robbers. They didn't have much to give. They had no money, but they were all ready to offer whatever is valuable, that is valuable to them in the house. But the terrorists were not interested in whatever they have in the house. It is them. That's why I said it's the first part of the story. The first person to call was his brother, to tell his brother, I'm in danger. My family is in danger. We are being attacked by armed robbers. The brother probably quickly jumped in, and he was able to convince a truck of policemen, maybe about 4 or so of them. For some reason, they were not anti-armed robbers, like the SARS or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, this is where I saw it. His brother walked straight into the dangerous, deadly trap of the terrorist, and he became the first victim. The exchange of fire, a civilian leading the police. What did that tell you? I mean, what did that tell you? Now you go lead police. Anyway, Sha, FCT Nigeria, there was no a direct police emergency number. At least maybe he didn't know that. Meanwhile, it should have been something so easy. In the UK, it is 999, Abi, emergency. It gets away that if I tap this my phone, in the UK, you see this phone, if it is locked, right, and I tap it in a way that like 3 times, okay, it is going to call the police automatically. That means I'm in danger or something is happening. I don't even have to call the police. So in Nigeria, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, where you have all of your powerful people, with the place where they took a loan of what was that loan again? Yeah, they took a loan of over 400 billion naira for $40 million, I've been an $80 million loan to put CCTV all over Abuja. The project, the money down the drain. But residents in Abuja, living in the Federal Capital Territory, they have no direct emergency number to call to get the police. And once the police, the police are called, they also don't really have any special squad, except the day that you are organizing rally or you are organizing protests. You will now see all of the machines. Like, Nigeria police get all this equipment. I say, yes, now. Nigeria police get all this gear. Yes, now they do. How come they use them to stop armed robbers or kidnappers or all these people? These are correct. Why are they not using them? Because they didn't buy them to defend you. They bought them to tame you. Anytime you want to get out of hand, that the way they are treating you, you are not comfortable. You will see them bring out all those things. But when you are under attack in your estates, they will bring one pickup and you will lead them. And then they will shoot it, like Nollywood. And before you know it, that was how they killed his brother. His brother was the first victim. And that was the beginning of their journey, trekking into the deeper jungle in that same Abuja. 6 hours trek. Let's listen to the other parts. Legacy of APC. Egbekegbe, the legacy of Buhari in Nigeria. Here.
Not to advance further, meaning.
Do you mind me asking, right? We are over 2,000 as usual on YouTube as we speak, right? And I just want to remind you, okay, if you haven't really liked the broadcast, you can leave the comment section, okay? Let's take the offering to 1,000 or 1,500. Shall we? Please. Thank you.
Not to advance further, meaning that they cannot stand these guys. So thereafter, they've been able to recoup themselves and get their strength that they have injured these people. They now ask us to stand up, go back to the village, take another route to get out of that place. The ransom, how came about the ransom?
Particularly the demands. Have they made any demands when they contacted you?
I was at their camp when all this ransom of a thing was coming up. You know, that night that we went through the bush, it took us like 8 hours, 30 minutes with my children. I was not wearing any slippers. I was wearing knicker, my sports wear with t-shirt like this. So, as at the time we were going inside that bush, one of them tried to make a friend. I was trying to make friends with one of them. So, Aboki, Zonadala. That was not trying to, in the sense, I speak Yoruba. So, I was just trying to communicate to me in Yoruba. I was like, come now. What do you need? What do you need? Don't treat me like this, please. What do you need? And I said, Lowo, you have money? You have money. But you low, but you move. Wallo. We're just speaking to Yoruba, just speaking this. And I said, okay. I said, if it's that one, don't worry, I'll get. Yeah. So we got to one stream. It was very deep. He asked us to enter inside the water. My children, all of us, we went inside there, passed through there, climbing one hill like that. Then I said we should stop. And I sensed that they started to look for firewood like that. I mean, in short, they prepared their food there that night. Maybe whether they spaghetti or something like that, Sham. Because as at that time they've asked us, myself, they asked me to kneel down. So one of them now came close to where I knelt down and asked me, bros, I mean, Mino Uku? I said, where do you want me to get 3 million? Give me a slap. Another one came again and give me another one. Like that. The one with his gun hit me at my back. And I said, okay, no problem. We end that talk. After they take their food, they asked us to relax for like 30 minutes. We now embark on another journey. So another journey, that's maybe second lap. So I'm getting to another. It took us about 3 hours again, if I'm not mistaken. They asked us to stay in one bush, lie us down, that we should sleep. Of course, I enjoyed the sleep. Just maybe 30 minutes like that, inside bush, grass like that. My children too, some of them that carry maybe their night wrapper like that. They managed to cover me with their own, that they come, let's cover you. We did that. So after 30, 40 minutes, they asked us to stand up. We now begin the final lap. So the final lap, for us to get to the main camp, where their camp is, where their leader is, there's a big stream and one big mountain like that to climb. So they asked me to cross with 2 guys with their rifle following me. The guy that was holding my hand, the rope was still inside. He was controlling me with the rope. So I followed him. And I look back to check my children at the back. I say, Kai, 6 children. Where are they taking me to? I hope they are not going to kill me where they are taking me to. I just saw more courage and asked that guy, I said, oh boy, Nibolanlo, where are you taking me to? He said, bros, Baba, don't worry now. I want to go and meet her. I said, I'm feeling cold. He now asked the guy to give me they picked one duvet from my house that night. So one of them used it to cover himself up. And I said, I'm feeling cold, I'm not okay, I'm not strong. That I'm not strong that night, I'm on medication. He now pleaded with one of his colleagues, said, you should bring that duvet for me to cover myself with. So I used that one. I was going. I didn't see my children coming. I was like, what is happening? And I said, what of my children? He said, Baba, they will come. They will come. What are you doing with my children? He said, Katabi. Just shouting on me. I said, I'm not comfortable. I want to go back. He said, no, you cannot go back. After 30 minutes, I sight my children coming up. So when I sat there, I was happy. And that's why they now assemble us again. So the guy that was telling you I tried to pick as friend was like to lecture me, bros. I'm a Bogawa Nisin. Just cooperate with Oga. So the Oga will release you so that you go and look for the ransom. I said, okay. I said, come, but I don't have money. I'm a civil servant. He said, I'll go and leave that one. You go and look for the money. I said, I'm a civil servant. I just moved into that house not up to 2 months. My children, I had earlier explained to them that if they see the parlor there, nothing is there. There's just the room that we managed to enter. Not up to 2 months. We have been staying in a rental apartment for long. They asked me to go and sit down, relax, of which I did. After a few minutes, they called me that the leader wants to see me. The leader seeing me was to ask me, Zona, I've seen their stick in their hands. I knelt down in front of the leader asking me all those questions about Megidaya. I said, Lapialo. He said, do I know where I've come to? I said, I know now. Okay, soldier ni? I said, me, I'm not a soldier. It was just to know where I said, I'm just an ordinary civil servant. The house you see me staying there is for my brother. He just asked me to come and occupy the place. And it's not yet completed. He said, okay. One came from my back again and use his boots to hit me. He now start to negotiate. He now asked me how much can I offer. I said, I don't have money, but I can look for maybe 2 million to come and give you, or maybe 3 million. That's how we started. He said, I have not talked. I should count my children. I'm talking of 2 million, 3 million. I should be very careful. They now start, I was not saying 10 million, 5 million, 5 million. I said, where will I get the 5 million? My children, I said, Daddy, don't let them kill us. Don't let them kill us. You should be very careful. They could not to advise.
I mean, I can only imagine as a father, what that moment to feel like for him. And at the end of the day, they kind of told him that we have to pay 100 million. 100 million on each child. Plus himself, it would now be 700 million. Yeah. But they ended up paying 100 million, as we were told. So if you want to watch that full interview, go on to the Arise News on YouTube. You can watch the full interview. I just thought it's ideal to let you see that as part of the Buhari's legacy that they are trying to whitewash with that nonsense book. I mean, was it not the same Buhari that they told you was coming to fight Boko Haram, but at the end of the day, you were left not just with the Boko Haram ISIL alliance, the ISWAP. You now have all kinds of Fulani terrorists who have territories all over Nigeria as we speak, especially northern Nigeria. So, you remember that Atahiru guy who died, who was appointed the chief of army staff by Buhari, then sort of died in plane crash and all that, right? Well, there is this someone, Alfie or something, Alif or Alfie or so, who happened to be a member of the team that were supposed to be saddled with responsibility of ending Boko Haram under Buhari. Then, when they were working to capture, to unmask the sponsor of Boko Haram in Nigeria, including in government. Things took a different turn when they were about to actually unveil the ones they discovered as sponsor of Boko Haram, the verified one right there in their government. The conspiracy twisted, and the hunter became the hunted. Atahiru, that was appointed chief of army staff after Buratai, the butcher, suddenly, they said the soldiers of, at the front, war front, fighting Boko Haram at the time, they were actually making progress, killing and doing all of that stuff. They were working with dependable intel. Then something happened. Atahiru got involved in a plane crash. The plane crash that was ruled as an accident. Somebody said, no, it isn't an accident. In fact, there was no plane crash. According to him, Atahiru and a few others, they were actually thrown out of the flying aircraft, and their bodies burnt, mangled. And that is why they never allowed the media to get closer to the place. You might have seen flame. You might have seen something burning, like, oh, what's that? That must be aircraft. You know what I mean? Like, so he was arrested for it. He was arrested and he was detained for 64 days by Buhari's government. His report, their investigation, the investigation on who killed Atahiru and what killed him, and all of the cover-up, everything happened. By the time they released the guy, he was useless to them. Whatever information he thought he had were no longer useful. Now, that same guy has written a letter to Tifnumbu Kolu, asking Kolu to investigate that crash, and he was kind of stating few things he knew. I will read some to you. Let me read some of them back to you. Let me see if I can share my screen so that it can look a little bit more like we are all reading it together. It's a segment of, his letter, not problem, you know what I mean? So give me a sec. Now, like I said, Atahiru, yeah? I'll show you his image in case if you have forgotten. It didn't last. This guy. He was appointed as chief of army staff, and they said they were investigating. So now they said that his death is linked to terror financiers, retired generals, Locklin Bell, right? Now let's quote him. For example, he said, Atahiru, let me go quote him. He said, the ill-fated crash involved the Nigerian Air Force NAF plane. It occurred near Kaduna International Airport in bad weather. They said bad weather, right? Not accident or something like mechanical. Anyway, those are the people who died. He said, Atahiru, one of the victims, was on his way to Kaduna to attend a passing out parade for army recruits. The Nigerian Army had listed the officers who died in the crash to include Atahiru, Brigadier General M.I. Abdul Kadir, Brigadier General Layinka, Brigadier General Kulia, Brigadier L.A. Ayat, Brigadier Amzat, and Sergeant Umar. Sergeant Umar. So the crew members were Flight Lieutenant Tio Ashani, Flight Lieutenant A.A. Olufade, Sergeant Adesina, and ACM Oyedepo. So Ali Kefi is the general that said, okay, now here is his quote now, according to him, right? He said, the operation service-wide, a presidential task force, which I was commanding at the time of late General Atahiru's headship of the Nigerian Army, had as its primary mandate to dismantle the terrorism financing network in order to aid the fight against terrorism and insurgency. Late General Atahiru appointed me as GOC-1 Division, 1st Division, while still being the commander of OSW, to enable me effectively discharge the task of OSW. It is important to note that OSW was not just an investigative outfit, but also carried out covert operations to capture or kill insurgent leaders and key fighters in the field, destroy insurgent camps and facilities, as well support the military and other security agencies' operations. Furthermore, having command of 1st Division served as cover for me to carry out the task without attracting unnecessary attention or making people aware of the existence of the outfit. Ali Kefi then explained, he said, About 21 hours on Thursday, 20th of May, 2021, I spoke on phone with the chief of staff to the late chief of army staff regarding their impending trip to Kaduna the following day, 21st of May, 2021. I had earlier spoken with General Tairu on the same issue. We ended our conversation on the note that the late Kwas, which is the chief of army staff, and entourage would come by flight at 10:00 hours the following day. About 6:30 hours the following morning, I called the COS to the late COAS to confirm if their travel plan was as we discussed the night before, as I needed to make arrangements for the mosque. In fact, let me see if I can even use this one rather. So I got something. I'm going to continue reading, okay? But just pardon me for a while, okay? I got this, what do you call it? This machine. It's not machine, like it's just equipment. So it's not going to show my face. It's just going to try and show, what do you call it? My screen. Let's see if I can get you there. So now what that does is that I could possibly share my screen like this, and we can be reading together without, making it awkward. Look at that. So I don't know if it's going to be really, I don't think so. So therefore, it's not going to really work for us. So I'm just going to continue reading, right? Let's continue with, the screen rather. Sorry about that. I was going to try that before now anyway. So I'll put that up and then, yes. So this is part of the letter the guy wrote to Tifnumbu. That's the part I'm reading to you because they are so important too. Just so you know that some revelations that are popping up will give you the idea of the kind of government or the people around there, the government that Buhari ran in Nigeria. It was a purely jihadist government. And somebody said, initially they said that their plan was 2022. 2022 was the time they probably felt like they were going to do their jihad. For some reason, they missed it. They didn't plan for Corona. But Corona happened, slowed them down, and anyway, they used the rest of the time to further establish themselves, put different of their terrorist cells across Nigeria. A lot of you may not know, we are surrounded already. And that is why they did their best as well to disarm us. And this is them as well, destroying those who could have indeed exposed them. The government that could have been on your side protected those criminals, and they punished this guy. Now he's asking Tifnumbu, who is also going to continue, who has continued from where Buhari stopped anyway, right? He's asking Tifnumbu to investigate that because there's more. Now let's continue from that part where what really happened. What really happened to the flight the following morning to Atayiru, according to this guy, okay? So he said about 06:30 hours, which is 6:30 in the morning, the following morning, I called the COS to the late COAS to confirm if their travel plan was as scheduled. I mean, as we discussed, rather. Where is that again? Yeah, the night before, okay? As I needed to make arrangements for the mosque, that the COS would attend Jumat prayers. The COS informed me that there was a change of plan. He said, after we finished speaking last night, they received a message that the late COS was to attend a meeting either at the Honorable Minister of Defense office or at the Presidential Villa at about 10:00 hours, which was 10 a.m. in the morning on Friday, 21st of May, 2021, when he was supposed to be in Kaduna. And that the late COS was to attend in person and not send a representative. It is important to note that the late COS trip to Kaduna was part of his visit to Zaria to attend the passing out parade at the depot Nigerian Army slated for Saturday, 22nd of May, 2021. It is worth noting that the movement of service chiefs out of station Abuja is with the prior knowledge of the Chief of Defense Staff, the Honorable Minister of Defense, and the Presidency. So why was a meeting scheduled for about the same time that this late COAS was to have departed for or arrived Kaduna, and why the insistence that he should not be represented? In any case, the COS informed me that in view of the meeting, they would depart the flag house, official residence of the COS at Airu, at about 15:30, which will be 3:30 in the afternoon, after attending the meeting and also after Jumat prayers for the airport. They expected to arrive the airport at about 4 o'clock, board the aircraft at about 4:10 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. and depart for Kaduna at about 16 hours, which is at about 4 p.m. I was informed that they had arrived the presidential wing of the airport. I then sent off from the Stallion House, official residence of the GOC, with my entourage in a convoy, and arrived Air Force Base at about 16:15 hours. That is 15 minutes past